Hi everyone, welcome back to Call to Mothering. Today I am talking all about how to enjoy your kids. You know, sometimes we are so busy being the mom, disciplining our kids' behavior and taking care of them and training them in character, and just busy with all the things that mothering entails every day. We are so busy having to do the things that, just require a lot of time and a lot of, mental energy. And sometimes we do not just stop and take the time to simply delight in who our kids are and who they were created to be and for what purpose. We are, sometimes we're on autopilot and overwhelmed with all of our kids' needs, and we can very easily slip into a negative mindset about them and even end up resenting them. So I want to give you some very practical ways that you can move beyond just dealing with your kids to actually delighting in them. But before we go ahead and get into that, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and ring that notifications bell so you know anytime I upload a new video. So now the first thing is focus on their individuality. We often take for granted that our children are unique individuals instead of extensions of ourselves. It's part of why parenting is so frustrating at times, but it can also be part of why parenting is also very exciting. My children, though born into the same family, are vastly different from each other. My son is our problem solver, and he is extremely organized, and he wants everything, just so. And I think he takes after me, but he wants to spend time just being home, and he's just content to stay around the house and do things here. And my daughter, on the other hand, is very, very social, and she wants to spend a lot of time outdoors and explore nature. And she is extremely people-oriented. So they are both uniquely gifted and created for different, to enjoy different things and have a natural bent towards these things. And they are truly a joy to have around. I enjoy seeing their personalities, and sometimes we can lose sight of our children's individuality because we are, like I said, so focused on the things that we have to get done during the day. We don't often stop and take the time to see our children as unique individuals. But one of the greatest joys of motherhood is looking in the faces of our children and seeing the miracle that they are. Somewhere along the way, we get used to all the to-dos of mothering, and we don't enjoy each child for who they are, for how they were uniquely designed. So I encourage you to go ahead and study up on their individuality, and let it inspire you to take joy in how they were created for a special purpose. Number 2 is put the to-do list aside. In order to truly delight in our kids, we need to intentionally carve out time when we or where we are spending, when we are connecting with them. When we put the to-do list aside and we temporarily put our schedules on the back burner, and we just spend quality time with our kids. It doesn't have to be anything elaborate. We often find just fun and inexpensive things to do, like going to the park or the library, just going out for ice cream or snow cones. Those can be just special times with my kids. You don't even have to leave the house. You can break out some board games and just put in some dance music. You could make crafts together And that is a perfect opportunity to see their individual creativity and their individual styles and approaches to creativity. So that will help you focus on how your kids are unique individuals. It's also amazing the spontaneous conversations that unfold during those times, which reveal even more of their personalities. So these are great opportunities to connect with your children, and these happen when we're willing to put our to-do lists aside. The third thing is praise them for what they do right. Another great way to enjoy our kids is by praising and affirming them regularly. If we're usually focused on what they're doing wrong and we're criticizing them more than we praise them, this can lead our kids to feeling discouraged and withdrawn and defensive, feeling like they can never please us. And this perpetuates a cycle of negativity where they act out more than they do things that are positive in order to get our attention, because they feel like they can't get it any other way but to act out because we are focused on what they're doing wrong and we're criticizing them. So it's important to intentionally look for admirable qualities in your kids and also look for the things that they are doing right. This can be things like working hard on their schoolwork and also treating their siblings well, working hard on a character trait that you have been helping them in, and also practicing for a sport or on a musical instrument. So any one of those things can be opportunities for you to point out what your kids are doing well, and you can praise them for these things. Also, you could express gratitude for them and share how valuable they are to your family. Something simple like saying, "I'm so thankful that you are my son or my daughter," goes a long way in helping your child to feel valued and to be seen and heard. And it just lifts their whole mood. Something else that is important to do is to praise your kids for who they are instead of for how they perform. Words that communicate genuine love and belief in them, like, "I love watching you play and seeing you have fun," instead of, "I love how well you play that sport." Something that communicates that you believe in them for what's on the inside instead of their talents and their abilities. When we praise our kids and we affirm them on a regular basis, their attitudes are also likely to change about themselves and to become more positive. It may be a really, really hard day, but you can always find something to praise your kids for. Number 4 is change mistaken beliefs. As parents, we sometimes have incorrect beliefs about our kids and also about our roles as parents that can keep us from really seeing our kids for who they are, for seeing them as they are uniquely. And that can keep us from enjoying our kids. When we see our kids as extensions of ourselves instead of individuals, as I mentioned before, when we are surprised by their personalities and their traits that we may see as weaknesses, or we may see as frustrating or annoying, but we need to know and believe that they are made in God's image and not ours. Also, when we believe that their successes or their failures depend on us, that can lead to us feeling negative toward them. And it also leads us to project our need to be seen well or accepted by other people, by other people onto our kids. And we sometimes become embarrassed by their behavior in public. Also thinking that we can change them on our own or change them on our own timetable when they are going to mature and develop on their own, in their own timing. And we need to let God do a work in their hearts and in their lives, and not become frustrated when they are not changing according to our own efforts and in our timing. And another thing that we often believe that leads us to not enjoy them or that gets in the way of us enjoying them is our belief that their weaknesses and their strengths can't be fixed and they can't be used by God. We tend to see these things as defining them instead of something that God can use one day, and also something that actually may end up being their greatest strength. So sometimes our kids need us to just get out of our heads and give them our hearts. When we take the time to connect with them and praise them and see them for who they were uniquely designed to be, when we invest in quality time with them and we see what their unique love languages are and their unique interests are, this can all affect how they see themselves deeply. And we want our kids to see themselves positively. If we parent them as if they are blessings, then they will grow up feeling valued, and they will become confident in who they are. There may be a million other things pulling at us, vying for our attention, but our kiddos need to know that they are a priority and that we enjoy being with them most of all. So thank you so much for watching and listening. And remember, you are not just a mom.